Hi, my name's Randy Reese, and I'm the coach at Longhorn Aquatic. I've been coaching now since 1969. I've coached college and club programs throughout that period. On the Olympic staff several times, coached a couple of men and women NCAA championships. I think with the DVDs that we're going to be doing, showing kicking, stroke drills, starts and turns, I think it'll be an important area that could help your swimming immensely. We're going to start off with a kicking drill, which your swimmers will use off their starts and turns and getting streamlined underwater. JD. If you'll notice how he puts his arms in line with his head to be streamlined, and it'll vary depending on the ability of their kick on how deep they should get. If kids are having problems getting the feel of the water on their feet, then they need to kick at a deeper level so they get more resistance. One of the key things with this drill is to make sure you kick up high enough to get your feet in the position, because your down kick is what creates your momentum to move forward. Okay, now to get more hip movement in, he'll push off on his stomach and then go to his back and kick butterfly with his arms at his side on the surface. After he's gotten streamlined, he'll take a pull and be up on the surface kicking, which when you put your arms at your side, it makes it much easier for younger swimmers to learn the butterfly kick. So this is a drill that's easy for beginning and young kids to do. Okay. This also helps with not worrying about having to hold their breath and doing enough kicking without having to come up for air to have a interference involved in it with getting air. Now we're going to do triple kick butterfly, which is probably the best drill I think you can do for swimming to learn butterfly stroke. All right. Now with triple kick, he'll have his arms in front and go through 3 kicks and then an arm pull. And this way, your swimmers can go long distances and work on getting the legs in, which are the most important part of the stroke. Okay. So with the arms in front, you want to kick, kick, then pull, kick, and breathe. You lose a lot of momentum while you're doing that because of the slower arm turnover, which develops more pressure on the hands so they can feel where their hands are in pulling butterfly. Now let's go over, breathing to one side using one arm. The other arm will be out in front. Okay. This is good for the kids that are learning how to do butterfly, a one-arm drill and only worrying about the one arm and the recovery of it, and breathing straight up as they'll do in the butterfly stroke is very essential. And you can break it up when you're training, doing one lap with one arm, another lap with another arm, or you can go, which we'll show you, 3 with one arm, then a complete stroke, and then 3 with the other arm. And this way they can build into their training and fitness level. Okay, now let's show them another step where we'll go 3 with the left, a complete pull with both, and 3 with the right. Okay, ready? Go. This is a variation of it to go 3, and then a complete arm stroke, and then 3 with the other arm, and then a complete arm stroke. Now what you might want to do during 25s, you might have the odd ones where they go 3 and then increase the number of double arm till they get where they're actually swimming the entire lap. Okay, now let's go 2 with the left, 2 swim, and 2 with the right. This is just another step up in variation. Go. Variation of how you're going to be able to work them into swimming the entire stroke. We'll go 2 with the left, swim 2, and then go 2 with the right. And then you can keep going up where you have it so that they're swimming the entire lap butterfly. Now let's go 1 left, 3 swim, 1 right. Okay? Now this might be the last variation that you would do before they would start swimming the entire lap. Okay, real good. Okay, now we're going to go triple kick 1 round, and then they're going to swim 3 strokes, and then triple kick another, and then swim 3. And this is also building off triple kick into swimming the entire lap, or if you want to do repeat 200s or 100s on a tighter interval, they'll be able to go fly longer like this rather than just swimming the entire stroke the whole distance. Most everyone has trouble doing that. Okay. This way, especially if you're going long course repeats, they can actually do 200s or even 400s like this and still maintain a very good technique with their stroke, because they do get a little bit of a break when they go to the triple kick. So that was 3 strokes and 1 triple kick. Okay, now he's just going to swim a complete stroke butterfly. And on going over, we'll go 2 down, 1 up, which is closer to what you would do in 100. And then coming back, he'll be breathing every other stroke. Will be 1 down, 1 up, which is the way most people probably will swim a 200 with their breathing patterns. Okay, 2 down, 1 up, going over. All right. And this is the way we try to get people to train when they're doing 25s and 50s, to get used to the tempo and also the breath control part of being 2 down, 1 up. Now when he comes back, he'll be doing 1 and 1, which is more in line with training for your 200 fly, because you're going to need a little more oxygen going a lot further. Okay, very good. All right, we're going to do a butterfly turn, and you're going to see how when he pulls his knees up under him, he swivels his body around to make the turn, and he'll place his feet sideways on the wall, so when he drops down, he'll drop down on his side, so that that's the smallest surface, so you can drop deep underwater to push off rather than drop to the back or drop to the stomach. JD? Now he's going to triple kick, and then he'll start swimming at about halfway. And you'll see as he grabs the wall, the knees yank up, and he drops to his side so he can get deep enough. A lot of people try to drop to their back and they just can't get deep enough to push off. And the faster on this turn that you yank your knees up under you, the faster you'll swivel to get around. Whichever way you're turning, you're going to pull that arm to your side, the elbow to your side to help your body rotate. I think while you're working on the turns, it's much better to do them in practice. And if you're going to do a lot, it's good to do drills and then start swimming the last half of the lap into the wall so you get your speed up and can do them at a race pace. Now, if you'll notice his first stroke up when he comes off the wall after his turn, you'll see that he'll take a pull and won't breathe off the wall, and that's what you want. If you breathe on your first stroke up, you're going to have a tendency to pull yourself up at too great an angle, and that angle is going to slow your momentum down. Okay, now he's going to start swimming to get his momentum going into the wall. And then he yanks his elbow down and his knees up. Drops to the side. One pull before you breathe off the wall, which is good to do in 100 and a 200. Right now what she's doing is a double flip turn, and the reason for that is to create her own momentum in getting herself to spin fast doing the tumble. So you'll notice that she has to use her arms to help get her over, and if you can get to where you can do very fast turns on your second tumble, then it becomes an automatic to have great and very fast turns just normally doing one turn and flip. Okay, we're going to go one more double, in which what you want them to do is do a fairly fast first turn and then try to get to where they can try to equal the second flip being as fast, which is very difficult to do, and normally very difficult to do from a holding your breath standpoint. So it's a great physical conditioner also, especially if you put into doing hundreds rather than just 50s or things along those lines. If you can get somebody to do good 200s like that, then they should be incredibly fit. Okay, now she's just going to do a regular single turn in which you'll see a much faster flip and probably about another body going off the wall in distance. And she, once again, is very good push off the wall. She gets streamlined, comes off fairly deep, and once again has a good dolphin kick underwater. Try to be a little deeper off the wall on this. Okay, let's do another one. Okay, once again, you're going to see her flip. She'll start her hips bending and then ball her body up with bending her knees. You don't want to start the knee bend before you bend at the waist to do your turn, because you're just going to create a resistance and slow up going into the wall. That's why the first part of the turn starts with the head moving down and the bend at the waist. Okay, now you'll watch the head start ducking down, the bend at the hips, and then you'll see the knees, after the legs start coming out of the water, the knees will bend up. Okay, she's coming in to do a backstroke turn, and she'll judge off the flags where she's going to need to roll over to get one stroke in, do her turn, and naturally, once again, if you're a good butterfly kicker, especially on your back, you can kick a lot further coming off the wall than if you're not a good kicker. You're going to want to come up and get to the surface and start swimming a little bit sooner. Now, once again, the swimmer has to be aware of if they're slowing down towards the end of a race, then they're going to roll over a little bit later and have to be a little closer to the wall to do their flip. And then on their push-off, they have a tendency to come up a little sooner. She actually kicks a better underwater fly on her back than she does on her stomach, but that's mainly because she swims a lot more backstroke in practice. Therefore, she has the opportunity to work on that aspect more. And still putting her hands a little bit behind her head. Going to start off with backstroke, and she's going to start off doing some kicking drills, and then we're going to get into some technique drills of swimming, and then she'll get into the stroke itself. Okay, on the kick drill, you'll notice that she's going to kick 4 or 5 times butterfly, and then she'll go to flutter kick, once again keeping her arms locked over her head, which forces a lot more pressure on your feet. And in kicking backstroke, you want to try to make the water bubble up. You don't want to try to kick your foot out of the water very high. You want to try to kick down a little deeper so you get a little more pushback on your stroke. Okay, on the backstroke, she's going to kick dolphin kick probably 4 or 5 times. Then go to flutter kick, where you want them to kick deep. And that's the reverse of freestyle, where you're kicking up out of the water. If they kick deep enough, they'll get more pushback. If they don't get deep enough, they're just going to be kicking to keep their feet near the surface, not for propulsion. All right, we're going to go 2 more of these kicking still backstroke. Make sure you're kicking the flutter deep. Okay, ready? Go. Once again, coming off the wall, good dolphin kick, staying streamlined, and then kicking deep enough. You want to kick down, so when you kick up, you can bend your knee enough to push back against the water to get the propulsion. And she's got a very good kick backstroke, and that's what you want to have as the underwater part, being dolphin, and then as you're swimming your stroke. Any propulsion you can get off your legs is going to be very positive with speed, with your arm turnover. Notice you're getting a flip right as the toes come up to the surface. They're not actually kicking out. You'll see her kicking, and the water's going to be splashing, but yet her toes are flipping right at the surface. So there's no lost energy in kicking them up too high. And that, by kicking them deep, you get them in the position for the push back to give you the propulsion. Key on this is staying streamlined off the wall and timing it so by the time you hit the surface, you're at your kicking speed. You don't want to start coming at the surface too early, because you'll start slowing down before you even get into your kicking. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, here we go with 4 or 5 dolphin kicks. Then as she slows down, she goes right into her flutter kick. Kicking backstroke is much harder than kicking freestyle because you get resistance both ways. You're kicking out of the water on free as you kick up, to get your foot in the position to push the water back on your down kick. This is the reverse of that. So you're kicking down into the water, not the air. So it's much more difficult muscularly to do any type of kicking backstroke. So the key with the backstroke flutter kick is kicking down deep enough to set your foot up in the right position to push the water back. Okay, now we're going to go backstroke drill where you'll go over left arm, come back right arm. Just take about 5 or 10 seconds at that side to start back. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, this once again is isolating one arm for backstroke drill, which makes it very easy to help shoulder rotation and for young kids to just concentrate on one arm at a time. And you could do it where you alternate by lap or where you do an entire 50 or 100 with one arm and then go to the other arm. It's good to count your strokes and see if you're getting the same number of strokes, or if one arm is getting fewer strokes and you're probably more efficient with that arm. So you want to try to develop the other arm, whether it be technique or whether it be lack of strength or conditioning with that arm. Okay, we're going to do that again. Ready? Go. So in doing the single arm, you're going to be able to find out efficiency, arm strength, by counting the number of strokes that you're taking in a lap. And as you start getting fatigued, you're going to find that the weaker arm is going to end up taking more strokes. Therefore, you need to do some extra training with your weaker arm. And then as you get it stronger, your overall stroke should come down tremendously. Now the drill after this is doing either 5 left arm, 5 swim, 5 right, or just 5 left, 5 right, and alternating back and forth. So what we'll do is we'll go 3 left, 3 right, 3 left, 3 right, a couple laps, and then we'll go to the actual transition of doing that in swimming. Okay, 3 left, 3 right. Go. Now this, going 3 left, 3 right, you can keep your momentum going and you don't experience as much fatigue with one arm like you would doing the entire lap. So a lot of swimmers can last longer by doing this. Same thing. Do the same thing coming back, where they can alternate, get a break with a one arm to stop fatigue. But as you get through the season and they can actually go hundreds with one arm and hundreds with the other, they start really getting stronger and definitely in better shape. Okay, now we're going to go 3 left, 3 swim, 3 right. Okay. Now this even makes it easier if you go 3 left, 3 swim, 3 right, where they do get a break with each arm, and then the swim gets their momentum going a little faster, which also makes it where you don't have as much resistance on each arm. So there's even more break physically and strength-wise in doing that drill as there is doing the other drills. Now you should go 3 with one arm, swim 3, and then go right into 3 with the other arm. That helps your momentum and makes it easier to do. So naturally in doing repeats, you'll be in a situation where they should be able to go a lot faster doing that. Okay, now let's just swim the entire lap. Make sure that you tilt, sit up a little more to move the hands out on the entry. Okay. Now this is swimming the stroke. Her head's back a little bit too far for where her hands are going in. She'll want to bring her head up just a little bit more on that, but she's very efficient underwater and gets good distance per stroke. All right, they're a little bit better body position, still dropping them in a little too much behind the head. Okay, now we're going to do a spin drill where I want your head out completely and you're sitting down on the water. Okay, ready? Just go to the flags and then swim in. Okay, ready? Go. This is a spin drill, which is a great drill for conditioning and turning over. You try to get them to lift their head out of the water and actually pull their back out of the water and turn over as fast as they can. It's great for conditioning and it's also good speed work. Want your head all the way out. Okay, ready, go. Okay, once again, this is for turnover and also move their arms and hands out from behind their head to get a little wider for a much faster turnover. And we usually go to about the flags and then go back to swimming easy in because you have a tendency to crash to the wall if you're not careful turning over at that rate. Let's go 2 more of those. Still, I want the head all the way out and the back to feel like it's almost out once you're just sitting up in the water. Spinning a little harder, throwing them in. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, once again, the higher you move the head out of the water and sit up in the water, the faster you're going to be able to turn over. And you can keep doing that through different degrees. And you might want to do hundreds like that where the first lap, they're sitting all the way out of the water. The second lap where they drop back a little and get to where their last 25 of 100, they're in their right body position that you feel is best for their swimming. But we do the spin drill quite a bit, especially through the season for speed work. I think it's probably one of the best drills other than doing the left arm, right arm, and combinations of that. Those are about the only drills that we do backstroke other than the kick. Okay, this is going to be a progression through the drills backstroke, 1 lap at a time. Okay. And she's going to go 150 where she's going to go left arm on the first lap, right arm on the second lap, and then she'll go 3 left, 3 right on the next lap, and then 3 left, 3 swim, 3 right on the next length, and then she'll swim the last 50. And this is the progression that I feel they need to do in practice on a daily basis. And then we'll get into doing the same thing freestyle. But on this backstroke, you saw her go left arm a length, right arm a length, and now she's going 3 left, and she'll go 3 right, back to 3 left. And then after this turn, she'll go 3 left, 3 swim, 3 right. Three swim, 3 right. And now the last 50 will be all swim. Now this is a set that'll probably want to be done either by 300s or 150s or any way you feel they need to break it up. She might do this and somebody not as fast as her might do the 3 left, 3 swim, 3 right for 50 and then swim the last 100 so they can be on the same interval training at the same time. Okay, very good. Okay, ready? Go. Now this is the same 150, but doing it freestyle, where she's going to go left arm for a length. Then after she turns, she'll come off going right arm, which is the 2 hardest lengths that she'll do, because it's just having to create your momentum with one arm. And then she'll go into doing 3 with the left arm, 3 with the right arm. She'll be alternating back and forth with those. Be 3 left, and then 3 right, which this gives her a little bit of a break, so the stress isn't quite as great. And then coming off this wall, she'll be going 3 left, 3 swim, 3 right, which even helps her momentum out by throwing the swim part in, and she gets a little bit of rest still with the other arm that she's not using. And now she's going to swim the last 50 with a complete stroke. So that's a progression that I feel is very important for good swimmers to build into. We've tried to work our drills in as much as possible to being part of the sets that we do on a daily basis. Probably 40% of what we do is some type of stroke drill, probably 30% kicking, and the rest swimming. Okay, very good. We're gonna start off and do breaststroke, where she's gonna do some kicking with a board, and then we're gonna go into drills breaststroke. On kicking breaststroke, I like them at the end of their kick to start lifting the legs so they get up and stay in line with the body. You get the snap to push you forward, and then as you lift up, your legs stay in line with your body, which creates less resistance, and it lifts up your legs enough so when you bend a little at the knee, as you start to recover the feet, they won't be quite as deep, so you don't create quite as much resistance. And we do most of our kicking breaststroke with a board. We'll do some on our back, which will be the next kick, with their arms at your side. Okay, now we're going to kick on your back, arms at your side, breaststroke kick. Okay, ready, go. Now with this, it tends to help them keep their knees in, and they won't lift their knees up as much because they can tell that they'll start coming out of the water. So that'll stop you from pulling your knees up under you when you're on your stomach as much, and that just creates resistance. So this stops you from lifting the knees up as much when you're on your back. And it's a lot easier for young kids to do because they can get as much air as they want. But we'll do a lot of kicking as part of our drills that we do. Okay, now as far as your breaststroke drills, sometimes working on the underwater part, they'll do 2 underwater pulls to work on their underwater part of their breaststroke, and then they'll go into their drills where we'll do 3 down, 3 up, and then we'll go 2 down, 2 up, and 1 down, 1 up, but still doing 2 underwater pulls off each wall. So we'll change each length. We'll go 2 underwater pulls every time. We'll go a 75 and go 3 up, 3 down, 2 up, 2 down, 1 up, 1 down. Okay. 75. Yeah. Ready? Go. Okay, so on this, you'll notice they'll take and do 2 underwater pulls, which helps them learn to get more streamlined. It makes them be able to, at the end of their race, to hold their breath a little more. And then on this drill, she went 3 underwater, 3 on top as normal stroke, And this one coming back will be 2 up, and then she'll do 2 of the normal stroke underwater, and then going 2 up again. And then on the next one, she'll do 2 underwater pulls off the wall, and then she'll do 1 up, 1 down, which doing the up and down helps them dive a little more when they're actually doing the full stroke. And this is a great conditioner from being able to hold your breath and create oxygen debt, but yet maintain it for a longer period of time by doing the drill and not doing something hard other than holding your breath. They'll be able to do 200s like that. Okay, now you're going to swim, but make sure you're diving after you've taken a breath on it. Just 1 pull underwater and swim. Okay, go. Okay, now this is normal where you're going to take 1 underwater pull, and then she's going to be up, but she's going to try to dive some and get the head down a little bit. Should be diving a little bit deeper. Okay, we want to do one where you dive a little bit deeper and look down a little more. And make sure you start your pull a little slower. All right, we'll do 2 more like that, but stop over there. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, on this you'll notice that what I want them to do is to start their pull in front rather slow, and then they'll snap the end as they catch up. But the slower the front end of the breaststroke, as soon as you get them extended, you want to go into your pull, but you want to do it slow, because if you do it slow, you'll get hold of the water, and once you get hold of it, then you can speed it up to the all-out speed at the back where you're finishing the arm stroke. Okay, come back. So you want to go real slow to get hold of the water. Once you get hold of it, then you can speed it up at the end, and you'll have good hold on the water all the way through the stroke. She's hesitating a little out in front. Okay, you don't want to hesitate out in front. Just go right into it, but very slow. Let's do 2 more like that. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, once again, you don't want to hesitate. You want to go right into your pull in front, but you want to do it just very slow so there's no hesitation. You don't want to, the glide will be just at the full extension, and then you start your pull immediately, but you start it slow to get hold of the water. Okay. Okay, right into the pull, and that's what you want to do. As soon as it gets out, go into the pull slow, and then you speed up the back part. Okay, very good. That's good. Okay, we're going to start off with using shoes for kicking to help strengthen the legs and foot movement. And then he's going to swim with shoes. And this is freestyle. Ready? Go. Now what this does is it increases the strength. And if you can kick and actually go at a decent pace with shoes on, you end up being an extremely efficient, very good kicker. And we do shoes at least three bouts a week. Most of it's flutter kick or breaststroke. Okay, now he's going to go a 50 freestyle swim. Okay. Now we'll do swim sets as well as kick sets. Most of them are shorter though, because it's pretty demanding with shoes on, but we'll go 25s and 50s, sometimes as far as hundreds with freestyle. Now that's a pretty good effort right there and gets you fairly tired and also runs your pulse up quite a bit. He's going to go a breaststroke kick right now, which strengthens the recovery as well as the kickback part of the stroke, and it really speeds your kick up once you take the shoes off. And then he's going to go a swim set with the shoes on, also breaststroke. Eric? And the main thing with this is trying to kick all the way through as hard as you can, even though it's very difficult to feel the water with shoes on. Once you take the shoes off, you get an automatic feel for the water, so you can learn actually to turn your feet out a little more to have a better breaststroke kick. Go. Okay, on the breaststroke, now what you're going to get is strength on the recovery as well as on the kickback. Once you take the shoes off, the feel for the water will be magnified, and you'll learn to feel the water, especially difficult for non-breaststrokers to feel the water with their feet. Okay, now he's going to swim a 50 breaststroke. Ready? Go. Now when you're swimming it, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to take your underwater and your dolphin kick, which is also difficult to do. And this basically builds in a little bit of a slow start on the pull, but you still have to snap it back on breaststroke. And it'll also help strengthen having to pull your feet up for your turn. It'll strengthen you to be able to do better grab turns for fly and free. This is one of the better strength builders by using shoes, because you're still moving your feet in the exact direction that you do when you're swimming it. Okay, let's swim a 50 backstroke with shoes. You want to go it fairly hard. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, it's very difficult, and we hardly ever kick backstroke except maybe half a lap with shoes, because it's just extremely demanding. But we do some swimming with them, and if they kick fairly hard when they're doing it, they still get quite a bit out of it as far as the legs and the upper body, because it creates a little bit of a drag with having the shoes on also. So you're really overworking the legs and the arms. This is a comparison now with doing the same thing without shoes on. So you can see the increase in foot speed, and I think you're going to see the ability is really enhanced because of feel for the water, having just taken the shoes off. Okay, go. You notice there's almost an over magnification of the up kick, which is what I want in kicking, especially in training and doing some very hard repeats. Okay, now you're going to go a 50 swim free. You want to swim it fairly good, get streamlined off the wall now, don't breathe off the wall. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, now here is his 50 freestyle swim. You can see that he's extending a little more. He was a little bit shorter with his shoes on, but it was just so demanding, and he hasn't developed the strength that he will develop because he's so tall, and right now he's a 13-year-old, so He isn't going to have a lot of strength yet. Okay, now we're going back and kick a 25 breaststroke. Make sure you're snapping them back good. Ready, go. Now here you should be able to see the comparison with how much faster the feet are going to snap back without the shoes. But he gets pretty good distance on his kick breaststroke, and he has very good feel for the water having just taken the shoes off. Okay, now you're going to swim a 50 breaststroke. Make sure you're extending all the way, okay? But go right into the pool slow. Get deeper on your underwaters. Ready? Go. Okay, now he's going to swim a 50 fly, a breaststroke, and notice that he's got good extension. His kick back is fairly snappy, even considering how tall he is and how long his legs are. Swimming with shoes and then taking them off is like being rested and going to a meet in a tapered phase after being tired all year. Okay, now we're going to go backstroke swim so they can get a comparison of your swim that you did with shoes. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, now this is a backstroke swim, which he can't kick with shoes backstroke. He isn't strong enough, but yet now you see his backstroke without shoes that you can compare to his swim with shoes. And you see a little bit more snap in his stroke, and that his body position and his kick's in a little bit better. And he rides real well in the water. And like I say, he's just got to get a lot stronger. Okay, that's good. I want to thank you for joining us and watching the DVDs, and I feel that the improvements that you can obtain through improving your speed, your technique, and your physical conditioning will be of great importance in your swimming career.